Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Let me know that you can hear me. Shout out to the Ryman. I am on the couch, so no sound effects. Sound effects. They want effects. They want some Daz effects. I got this mess that StreamYard has. I gotta finish learning what is it called? Streamlab, so I can get the hell on up out of here. Meaning off of StreamYard, because you know me and StreamYard have a hate relationship. Not even a love hate. It's a hate relationship. Shout out to y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday. Happy hump day. Oh, people Wednesday. Even though I ain't got no white people stuff right now. Maybe later though. Maybe later. We shall see, because I will be back at about 6:15 p.m. EST tonight. And we will talk about something. All right. I'll figure it out during the day. But if you're here now, shout out to y'all early. I love doing this early morning stuff. Just came in from the gym. I just got out of the shower, actually. I'm like, ain't no way I'm sitting on this couch as funky as I am. So I had to take a shower real quick, which is why I'm late. But it is what a TI is. Anyway, so it looks like there's so I am streaming on the Generation X channel. Shout out to the Generation Xers and everyone else that is here, of course. But I saw the viral video where kids went to apply for a job or job interview or job fair or something like that. And they was dressed in bonnets and blue hair and sneakers and all this other stuff. And it just was like, y'all just don't ever want to listen. And of course, you know, they'll say, it's y'all's fault. It's Generation X's fault. Of course it is. When you're a lazy ass bum, dumbish. What do we call it? What's the new word? Dumbish? I forget already. And y'all just want to blame someone else. You don't want to listen. Do everything your way. It don't work out. It's everybody else's fault. It works out the way you want it to. You're an effing genius. You think we don't see? We see. We hear. We understand. So we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what it is that they're doing and see if there's any room for improvement. Now, do you think they're going to listen? Absolutely not. But that doesn't stop us from taking a look, right? All right. So I only have one screen today, so just the FYI. We should have could have did this yesterday. Let's go ahead and go to Shisha Shed. I always get that wrong. Shisha Shed, because he did a video on it. So we shall hear what he has to say. It's 20 minutes. I don't think I got 20 minutes to listen to him, but shout out to him. It says they're wearing bonnets and do-rags. They're wearing bonnets and do-rags. Wow. Yeah, that'll get you a job, child, if you're going to work at a car wash. Whoa. Talking about the car wash, girl. Child, it might not get you a job there. This 2026, you got to stand out, and that ain't the way to stand out. But let's hear what they got to say.
Job in this economy and showing up to a job interview in bonnets and do-rags.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Caption of this video is do-rags and bonnets at a hiring event. Oh yeah, and your competition show up wearing suits. I'm wasting time. Just get it.
Imagine that.
Oh my God, I'm going to lose.
See, and this is what happens.
So I just want to make sure you guys saw it. I'm going to play it one more time. She's there, you know, with her friends, family, who knows who it is. Of course, employers are thinking out of every...
Well, first of all, I'm kind of having my breakfast at the same time, y'all. First of all, blue hair. Now, as a person that used to hire people, you walk in with blue hair, I'm not hiring you. I don't care. Blue, green, orange, purple. We can be able to do what we want to do with our hair. You certainly can. And I can most certainly not hire your ass too. You know, I don't have to say it. I don't have to say it. But I know that I ain't got time for your crap. I'm just saying. Because y'all don't seem to understand that we are, oh my God, we are held accountable for the people that we hire. Hold on a second. Yep. Nothing, I'm streaming. Already, that's all right. Where you off to? Oh, right. All right. What time is that? All right. Well, call me when it's over. Good luck. All right. Bye. Oh my goodness. A woman's job never ends. Yeah. Anyway. So what I'm not gonna do is hire you if you're looking crazy, because I would have to answer to that and have done it. I've told you the story. Had to have done it when I referred someone and they was wilding the hell out after they got hired and they called me in. And it's like, child, I'm just trying to help somebody get a job. And this is the things that you get. They out here doing criminal activities that impede upon the job that I helped them get. I could have lost my job. And that's one of the reasons why that's on me, y'all. That's totally on me. I accept accountability for that, right? Because everybody can't come to the party, all right? Everyone can't come to the cookout. Let me not say the cookout. Everyone can't come to the party. That's why I said with Anton, all them people that's mad at him, child, y'all had to get dropped off because clearly you weren't bringing anything to said table that y'all always talking about bringing something to the table, right? If you can't help, then you're a hindrance. You got to go. And that, me being nice, quote unquote, could have cost me my job and my livelihood. And what would that person have done for me, y'all? Not a damn thing. And I would have been asked out. My family would have been put in jeopardy because I'm feeling sorry for you, trying to help you out. And this is the thanks that you get because you never know when you're referring somebody unless you really know them well, and hopefully you know them well enough. And I thought I knew this person well enough. What they gonna do once they get in there? Your name is stamped on them. Your name is stamped on them. So if I hire you, now that was a referral I'm speaking about. So if I actually hire you, my name is on you. So then that means if anything happens, they're gonna come back to me and say, how the heck did you hire this person? Now, should I have a crystal ball to know into the future? Absolutely not. But there's some telltale things that if you don't come in from the gate looking like you have the sense that God gave you, call it what you want. I'm not hiring you. I'm not hiring you. But y'all, what the hell do I know? Oh yeah. Shout out to Generation X. We know a lot more than these. What was the word from yesterday? I gotta look it up. Dumbish?
Everybody here are these unemployed candidates. Who's our best investment? She's like, hey, we showed up looking like this, and the competition there showed up in suits and ties. Let's check it out.
Oh my God, I'm going to lose.
See, and this is what happens when you have an entire generation of dumb that get on the internet and tell you that everything you do, having decorum, having a standard for yourself, and dressing appropriately in appropriate attire for appropriate situations, everything like that, black people having a standard is kissing up to the white man or basing themselves off European standards and Eurocentric standards. You got a group of young black people thinking it's so funny showing up to a hiring event and they're in sweatpants, Jordans, Crocs, and t-shirts, do-rags and shit on. And she's smiling like that shit funny. And they're like 21 years old.
Right.
This is what happens when people like myself, people like Dana, people like Chad have gotten on this app and told y'all when y'all was sitting there arguing about the bubble coats and Ruth Chris. When we tell y'all to, dress appropriately, dress for the occasion, have some decorum about yourself. Everything ain't gotta be hood, rat, and ratified. Y'all say we classes, we elitists, we kissing up to the white man. We got European standards for ourselves, as if black people can't have a standard. This is what you get. This is what you produce. See, and then these mother will go out, not give like life is a joke, walking around looking like a bag of degenerated, no standard for themselves. And then when they don't get hired, they don't get a job. Oh, it's the white man's fault.
So I actually disagree. I actually believe that people should show up dressed how they want because that's more jobs for us. That's more jobs for us.
Well, that's what Mona said. I agree. That's exactly what Mona said. Dress how you want, just don't complain about the outcome. Exactly. So you tell on yourself. But the problem after that, and I'm not telling people what to do because I agree. Do what you want. Do what you want. Those consequences are yours. So with all the people, and I'm not saying that this is about the 300,000 that got let go from. Child, the number's been reached to 600,000. Where 600,000 came from, I don't know, but I digress. I'm talking about this generation that can't seem to make it through an 8-hour shift. I'm talking about the generation that when someone says something to them, they have a fit, they start screaming, they start crying. they can't handle anything, and yet they allegedly know everything. Now, we know when you're younger, you think that you know, you go out there, you try to figure and find it out, and then you learn your lessons along the way. The problem with Z is that they lazy and they ain't learning nothing because they think they are influencers. So they really don't want to do anything except for what they want to do. They only want to do what they want to do. And when it comes to the needs, they need everyone else to do it. So they'll be out there on the front lines talking about no kings, and then asking why they can't have Section 8 child. I didn't come across a video where the girl is like, can y'all get up off of Section 8 so we can get a chance with it? Like, what kind of thing is that to say? But this is where they're at in their life. Now, what the reasons are, we could go into it. You know, parents aren't held accountable for anything, but these kids love to blame. They have no coping standards whatsoever. Excuse me. That's exactly what they do, is they just say it's Generation X. Just like the girl that says, we won't even take our grandkids so they could go away for the weekend in Miami. Nope, I certainly will not. I certainly will not. But child, go on.
There was a time when I would have sat here and joined him in this very, very, very needed, because it is needed. That's good coffee. It's good coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
At this point, with certain conversations, maybe I'm getting jaded with certain conversations, certain ones. I just say, oh.
No, I think that we're tired of saying the same things over and over and over again, and people don't want to listen, right? So why keep banging your head against the wall? Which is the same thing like with the relationship stuff, and you know the stuff with Kendra G and all that. Child, that stuff gets old after a while. Just like the people that now Funky Dineva talking about, I can't know you. You got to wear something to let me know who you voted for. Most of y'all just sound crazy. So if that's who people are listening to, and the blogs are who they're listening to, no wonder they continue to have issues. Instead of being taught, they don't want to listen. Where everything gonna end up? Effing daggone mess.
McDonald's, Burger King, Popeyes, the minimum you could do is throw in a polo and some goddamn khakis and some.
Yo, and he's talking about working at McDonald's and Chick-fil-A. Yes. And now they're trying to say that it was wrong for Chick-fil-A to get rid of them. Girl, a whole nother video coming on that. But that's why now they want $30 an hour to drop fries, which is ridiculous. That's where your kids should be going and working, and they still shouldn't come there in do-rags and whatnot. But if you was under the age of 18, you was 14 and 15, we could maybe give you a pass because you're learning, because it's probably your first job. But y'all, not at 20 nothing. Not at 20 nothing. Especially when it looks like they was in a corporate facility, and that's how you coming. So then you get these low-paying jobs because technically they're for kids, and then you want to raise the minimum wage to $50 an hour. I'm being facetious, but the point is that then people complain about the high cost. Well, it's gonna go up because where do y'all think this money is coming from? You think they're gonna cut into their profits because y'all want to try to make a living off of a job that's for a child? Because Generation X, we had to work. We had to get a job probably at the age of 14. Paper routes, cutting grass, babysitting. Do girls babysit anymore? Child, half of y'all would never touch my kids anyway, or my grandkids, but it used to be a thing. You used to have to do something. I was in the grocery store. My mom was always trying to figure out a way for me to work because she ain't got no McDonald's. The question was, can we go to McDonald's? And the answer was, do you have McDonald's money? Then that'd be the same person that telling me you can't answer a question with a question, but she most certainly answered my question with a question and didn't hesitate. And if you wanted to have a career in McDonald's and Burger King and all the rest of them, you had to work your way up. They want to get team lead money, actually probably team manager money, dropping fries. And the fact that there's people that's going along with it, California, I don't know where else. So California is the only one that stands out. To say that you should get $30 an hour in New York to drop fries is insanity. It's like they want to destroy America or something.
Casual shoes and take your. That's why a lot of y'all are where y'all are at. because y'all don't have a standard for yourself, and you don't set a precedent for yourself. Whether it's whatever opportunity presents itself, you feel like, oh, I'm only gonna do something if it's this or that. No, you should have a standard across the board for yourself, but y'all don't do that, and that's why y'all can suck at life. And that's why y'all consistently stuck blaming the system, blaming the government, blaming the white man, blaming your mama, blaming childhood, blaming everybody but yourself for why you are where you are in life. But then these be the that get on the very same, I need to be my own boss. I'm an entrepreneur. I can't work for nobody. No, y'all just don't like structure. Y'all just don't like rules. Y'all don't like nobody telling y'all what to do. Y'all don't want to have. I'm done, bro. Just keep being scamming Jamals and Bonnet Makishas. But for the young people who are out there,
right,
that have a standard, the ceiling is in space for y'all,
right?
Because
right.
this is your competition,
right?
If that's even what you want to call it,
right?
You should be running circles around these bums.
Most people in life don't understand how easy it is to win, especially today. Everyone has an excuse, and if you think your excuse is bad, trust me, they'll come at you with a better excuse, and now you're in the excuse Olympics. You're over there competing on who had it the hardest and who deserves to be the most down. Oh, man. That's why it's just best to just lay low and act. And if you're able to do that, if you're able to, despite your situation, hunker down.
They're not listening to that. I mean, they're just going to continue to do what they want to do because they got all the answers, even though it's not working out, which is the same thing that adults do. Let's not act like we don't know, right? But if you're not going to help your kids, and these kids are not going to take the information that's tried and true and works, then they're then going to take their energy and put it into teen takeovers, live amongst us. We call the oppressor, then they're going to be upset. When all they have to do is just work. And working hard is not the answer. All right, well, whatever you think the answer is, just stay away from us. Because we done already did that. And it worked out. And it worked out for the people beforehand that had a lot more to suffer through than these people do. Imagine being in 2026 and you're sitting up here mad and upset with all the opportunities that you have, regardless of who's president, and you don't want to take care of it because basically you just want to be on the internet all day.
With action. And chances are they're not acting. Let's see here. This is the original video. This video says, let's normalize wearing our bonnets in public. Yep. And do-rags being worn in professional settings. All that, as far as I'm concerned, is unacceptable. But hey, if you love it, enjoy. That's how I...
If these restaurants start allowing that, you won't see me there. Let me tell you something. If these restaurants start, listen, where I work in corporate America, I know daggone well they're not going to allow it because I ain't even worried about that, right? But let restaurants say, okay, you can all come in with your bonnets on. It'll be a restaurant that I won't be at. Come in here with your do-rags on because I don't care what no one says. That is going to bring a certain element that I know that I don't want to be around. I said that. I meant that. Because if you're that lazy that you think that you got to roll out of bed, just like you do going to the airport, and you think that that's acceptable, and then the restaurant is going to lower their standard. I don't believe in lowering standards. That's half of the problem, is that this Generation Z and the people that want to coddle them lower the standard. And they don't know about having one. They don't know about doing better or doing your best or presenting yourself at your best. They just present themselves any old way, which is lazy. And I've been calling them lazy. And they show and prove every day how lazy they actually are. That now you want to normalize, of all things that could be normalized in this world in 2026, bonnet wearing is where it's at.
I look at it now when it comes to this particular topic. Enjoy. Let me know how that's going.
Growing up, my father always told me never wear a do-rag in public because it'll make you look like a thug. And I always thought, is it the do-rag or is it the color of my skin? Because a do-rag is just a beautification product. And if being beautiful makes you look like a suspect.
A do-rag is a beautification. Gentlemen, sassies, if you're here now or if you're on the replay, is a do-rag a beautification? Oh, this is what Generation Z also produces, LTMs. LTMs. let me be able to wear my do-rag because it's a beautiful. This is a man saying this. A male. Let me say a male. My bad. A male saying this. Child, what? A beautiful.
Everybody should be looked at that way. That's why every time I see a white woman in a papaya mask, I go up to a cop like, "Excuse me, sir. I think Kelsey has a knife." There's nothing dangerous about a do-rag. Now, if a dude had a bulletproof do-rag, like if a dude walked up to me on the street and he had a Kevlar Silky, I'd be like, "Hey, man, just
What the hell is a bulletproof do-rag? Is that a thing?
take my wallet, all right? There's some extra cash in there. You probably have a date later, so use it for that." A do-rag just shows passion and commitment. When a brother's wearing a do-rag, he's working towards trying to get waves. When a white dude's wearing
So you can't work towards getting waves when you go to bed? I mean, if you're just hanging out on the street corner, which is typically where you would see someone with a do-rag on, not sitting next to me, not Carl sitting next to me when I go into the office. Absolutely not. And I don't want to see it when I go into Applebee's, which you know I ain't going in there. But if I go into Applebee's or Chili's, I'll be like, see, this is why I don't come into Applebee's or Chili's, okay? Because, child, this is what y'all allow up in this piece. Let me carry my ass onto the Italian restaurant in the hood in Jersey. The only good thing about Jersey, besides Atlantic City and the diners.
do-rag, he's working in a McDonald's. With that being said, I do think that cops should be allowed to arrest dudes who wear do-rags and who are not trying to get waves. Like if a dude runs a red light, a cop should be able to be like license, registration, and wave check. He takes it off like, whoa, look what we have here. You're coming with me. I'm charging you with fraud. Little things can make people view you differently. Like I have longer hair now, so I wear bonnets. And the other day, a cop offered to help me cross the street.
All right, black men, do not.
So y'all wear bonnets once you're, because I was just about to ask that question. He don't even have waves, or he's not even going to be making waves. So why is he talking about it? Oh, because y'all wear bonnets. Any white men here? Do y'all wear bonnets? Any white men here? Do y'all wear bonnets? I'm just checking. Because sassies, this is the image that, well, it's YNs, of course, Generation Z. But the point is that it's a hot effing mess. And this is the difference between X and Z. This is the difference between X and Z. Wait, good morning, God of the Seas. Buffalo wings at Applebee's. Ain't no going to Applebee's. None. Not for me, anyway.
Wear do-rags out in public. It makes you look crazy, low class, and like a ratchet ghetto thug. You see this do-rag that I have on right now? It's because I'm in bed. It's because I'm in my bedroom. Nobody has to see me in public. I don't wear this outside of my bedroom. I don't wear this walking down the street. Nobody wants to see you wearing a do-rag walking down the street. Makes you look trashy. Makes you look low class. Makes you look ghetto. Makes you look like a thug. Now, I know that you have to wear the do-rag because, you know, you got to keep the waves popping, and I know that, and actually they help protect your hair in your head from rubbing up against the pillow and all that. It helps protect your follicles and all that. I understand it. But in very rare occasions, are do-rags a fashion statement? I get that some people wear them in the high fashion settings and they're making a statement, and I will give them that. But when you're walking down the street with your do-rag on and you're smoking and all that stuff, you're not making a fashion statement. The statement that you're making to people is that you're a low-class, ratchet, ghetto thug. So keep the do-rags in the bedroom.
Every time I wear my bonnet to the airport, I literally remember that video that Monique made that made it to the shade room, and that will never stop me from wearing my bonnet in public because I don't care. She's not my aunt. I don't care. No, I don't. Like, I'm not doing my hair at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's ridiculous.
We know y'all don't care. Did I not say that? I've said that. We know they don't care, which is why we don't care. But then when we don't care, then they're upset and saying that you hating on Generation Z because of the wonderful things he does. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Because we know not to deal with fools. We know not to deal with fools and foolish people. Child, wear it. Yeah, Mona, exactly. Child, wear it. Wear it up. Wear it up. Okay? That's a you statement. That's a you statement. Carry on.
I'm so tired of seeing dudes wearing a do-rag outside the house. It takes you 5 minutes to brush your hair. It's no reason for you to come outside with that do-rag on. And then y'all be having that TWA with a do-rag on. What's the point? Like, really, just cut it off. And it's not expensive to get a haircut every 2 weeks. I even seen a dude taking family photos with a blue do-rag on. I think it was blue. But I just know that the do-rag didn't match nothing they had on in the picture. And he got into it with them because they said that he needs to take the do-rag off. I just feel like y'all need to put more effort into y'all appearance. It's becoming the same thing as when people wear that winter scarf around their hair because their hairline looking a mess. Just have some decorum, please. It won't hurt you to wake up 5 minutes earlier, King. Like, if you just go into the grocery store, sure, I get it. But y'all be going out with it on. Like, why are you matching your do-rag to your outfit? Why can't you just put on a hat like everybody else? So now you out here do-rag fishing. That's another thing, because you take that do-rag off and ain't a wave inside.
Hey, my sweet.
Not do-rag pushing. Is that a thing? Lord, you know they can't stand Monique for this.
Babies. So, it took me a minute to say what I'm getting ready to say because I want to make sure I'm not saying it in judgment. And I want to make sure I'm saying it from a place of love. Y'all, some of y'all have given me the title of auntie. And I'm honored that y'all do that, right? But there are times where auntie got to talk to her babies and say some real shit.
Child, they ain't trying to hear you, and you ain't auntie no more once you tell them something that helps or something that makes sense or something that requires a standard, child. Auntie gets tossed out the window then.
So yesterday, I was in the airport in Atlanta because I'm in Jackson, Mississippi now at Chuckles Comedy Club, right? And we got 3 shows tonight. We got a matinee at 5:30, then we got 7, then we got 10, right? And I'm excited. I always love going to the stage. So when we got to the airport yesterday, I was excited, like, all right, baby, let's go get him in Jackson, Mississippi. And as we began to walk through the airport, I saw so many, actually too many to count and too many for me to tap. But I saw so many of our young sisters in head bonnets.
Monique, you better not be tapping in none of them. Girl, what is wrong with you?
Scarves, slippers, pajamas, blankets wrapped around them. And this is how they're showing up to the airport. And I've been seeing it, not just at the airport. I've been seeing it at the store, at the mall. I've been seeing sisters showing up with these bonnets and headscarves and their slippers. And the question that I'm having to you, my sweet babies, when did we lose pride in representing ourselves? When did we step away of let me make sure I'm presentable when I leave my home?
Presentable?
Let me make sure I'm representing the family I created so that if I'm out in the street, I look like I have pride.
Pride?
And I'm not saying no full face of makeup. I'm not saying no full front lace frontal. I'm not saying none of that.
Oh, girl, they got the full on. The rest of the full is on. The lashes, you saw the girl that said she ain't listening to Monique. She had that makeup done. She had them eyelashes on. Now, I know eyelashes stay on for the most part, right? But she had time to get up and do all that, but couldn't do her hair, child. That's why I know they full of it.
All I'm saying is, could you please comb your hair? And if you don't want to comb your hair, they got enough shit out here now, baby, where you can style yourself up and look like you have pride. I'm not saying you don't have pride, but the representation that you're showing, someone would have to ask you to know that you had it. So my sweet babies, for the ones that do call me auntie, I love you for real. Even the ones that don't, I love you. But the babies that say auntie to me, please listen to auntie.
Girl, what?
Always have pride in your representation of you. It's not to get a man. It's not. It is just your representation of you, my sweet babies.
That's who they are. So they need to continue to be who they are so that we can know to keep ourselves away from those. Dumbish. That's what it is. Let them continue to be dumbish, child.
So I'm just giving y'all a warning. If I see you in the streets, in the airport, in the Walmart, and you got a bonnet on and you got slippers on and you looking like a Nikki gonna tap you and say, hey, baby girl, show you what you worth. Show you what you deserve. So all of those posts that you see celebrities putting out there saying, hey, queen, hey, queen, hey, queen. Well, can we start putting it into action? So I'm asking our wiser sisters, when we see our little babies out there looking like they just don't care, and I'm not saying y'all don't, it looks like it.
Oh, girl, I'm not doing all that.
Can we just tap them?
No.
And say, baby girl,
no,
you deserve more than what you're showing.
No.
Represent you with pride, my babies.
No.
And that may be a part of us helping our community.
No.
Because if you look like you don't give a damn,
no,
how you gonna be treated?
Right.
So when I say, hey, queen, I can only say it to the sisters that it belongs to. Because a lot of us are still in queen training.
Queen training.
So if you're in queen training,
you're in queen training,
stop being fearful of taking your position. And queens don't walk around with bonnets and headscarves and slippers and pajamas. That's for the house. When you go outside, represent you, baby, like you are worthy and you deserve the title of Hey Queen.
Hey Queen.
Nikki love y'all for real.
Hey girl.
And I ain't never gonna BS you.
Yes, sis.
Stop wearing them damn bonnets and head scarves, looking like don't nobody give a damn about you, nor do you give a damn about yourself. Because you're beautiful. So represent it. I love y'all for real, my babies.
Girl, they don't love you, but that's nice though. At least you tried. At least you tried. I will not. You get all this from this daggone internet. You do with it what you want, which will be coming to the comments and act ignorant, dumbish, and that's fine. Because I don't get. Because like I said, you're lucky. You're lucky that I'm not doing no more hiring. I don't even want to deal with none of that responsibility anymore, which is why I don't do it. You're lucky I'm not hiring, but to each his own. And plus, these people ain't gonna listen. At least Monique tried, and they hated her for it. They absolutely scorched earth her while somebody tries to help. And this is the problem. They are not trying to change anything. They want everyone else to change for them. That's the absolute problem. And that's why we having this, in my opinion, this culture war right now, because Generation X has their standard, they have their beliefs, this is how we grew up. And these people want us to change to their mess. And I'm not doing it. You're never gonna see me say, child, go on out there with your bonnet on. I go outside with a scarf on when I go to the gym. Every day. That's it. I wear it in the house and I wear it outside to go to the gym only. So anywhere else I'm going, I'm gonna be presentable. You can't tell these people anything. So that's why they'll end up at a job fair or whatever that was with blue hair, sneakers, sweatsuits. And then the funny thing is, which is not funny, is they know what they're doing don't make sense when you see the other gentlemen walk in. If they knew that they basically, by what their response was to the younger other dudes that walked in, they knew they was wrong. They already knew that they wasn't gonna get no job. So they just think I can come show up subpar and get what I need. And so why would someone think that you're going to be good at your job or help out the job when this is how you show up and that's your first impression? That used to be a thing. First impressions. We learned that. First impressions. Somebody not teaching these people and they not trying to hear it. Shout out to Nightjade for being a member for 14 months. I appreciate you, boo. She said my grandma whooped my tail. Look, I can tell she old school tail, okay? She said my grandma whooped my tail for wearing 2 different shoes to school. I wanted to look like Punky Brewster. Oh, shout out to Punky Brew. She said, disrespect my house again, because that's how it was supposed to be, because that's what they used to do. You can't even try to say nothing to these people, and they'll be out here wilding out, okay? But Monique, we know that's from like 2 years ago, but Monique thinks that somebody's supposed to try to say something to these people. It won't be me, child. I'll tell you right now, it will not be me. Let me take y'all over to Tickety Damn Talk. Let's go to TikTok and see what's going on here. And not only does it say down at the bottom, Black women 500,000. Where is this number coming from? Yeah, I feel like every day the number grows on the amount of Black women that have been laid off or lost their jobs. This one says 500,000 layoffs. Then I heard somebody saying it was 600,000. Child, what is going on? Something just ain't right. I thought it was 300,000, but what do I know? They won't let us be late or wear bonnets. Imagine saying this. They won't let us be late or wear bonnets to work.
This white guy gonna say, you really wearing your bonnet to work? Yes, I am. And now I'm starting to think, is everybody else gonna think I ain't? I said, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I went live last night. Whoop, whoop. I did my afro, and I was gonna show them this morning how my dried afro was gonna look a hot fucking mess. And then I get up and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna wear my bonnet. I like my bonnet.
Look at them.
Look at the Asian man. The Asian man looking disgusted.
They got on tennis shoes and do-rags.
Well, this year, unemployment among Black women has increased significantly, rising from 5.4% in January to 7.7% in September. In April alone, Over 106,000 Black women lost their jobs. The disparity in unemployment rates between Black women and other groups is widening faster than it has since 2020. The NAACP asserts that this trend is not merely a result of bad luck or market forces. Karen Boykin Towns, Vice Chair of the NAACP National Board of Directors, is here to discuss the economic challenges that are faced by more than 600,000 Black women who have been sidelined.
Quite frankly.
Oh, that must be where I heard it from, because I had the Cartier family up. 600,000 now, yeah, 600,000.
I don't know about you, but I have a number of friends who have been impacted, and it's not because they have done a bad job. It's not because they have decided to leave. It seems like it's a systemic disinvestment where they are being
a systemic disinvestment. Child, they be making up shit every day, right? Every day.
Being impacted due to nothing that they have done other than a lack of being undervalued, and just the times that we have found ourselves in where we have.
So the reason that 600,000 Black women are laid off is being undervalued. That's all. That's the only thing.
Have policies that are going against the progress that we've made, where we've had government shutdowns and massive layoffs, and where corporations have walked away from commitments that they have made. And so here we find ourselves.
Trump shut down them government jobs.
Okay. So what is the purpose of her talking? Like, do you have any evidence to talk about? Or are you just going to talk about you being upset because you know people that lost their job and you the NAACP?
Why they never bring up what happened to the men? Why I always hear when it comes with Black people problems, only women.
Uh-oh. Shout out to the Cartier family. What? You want somebody to worry about the men? What? Where they do that at? So, shout out to you all, but where do they do that at? Especially Black men. You Black men, daggone well you don't matter, you don't count. Who gonna talk about ya? Who? You thought that the NAACP was gonna come out here and talk about ya? Did y'all think that somebody gave a damn about ya? Well, maybe somebody does.
They get pushed out
because they're gonna complain the loudest. Because it's also a men thing too. But it's like, and I'm not trying to dismiss that this is an issue. It is 100% an issue. But I'm not trying to sit here and listen to you bitch about it. What is the statistical data that they're using to cite why this has happened?
Well, we know why it happened. They cut government jobs, and DEI is not in place. But if you want to talk about DEI, white women benefit from DEI the most. So that argument,
a statistical fact.
They are getting impacted the most
because the government jobs are now being shut down.
Yeah,
everybody probably was impacted, but no, they're the ones that's gonna complain. Black women, they probably did get impacted the most, for a fact. We know. I mean, but what are we going to?
Of course, because it's disproportionately affected everywhere. And instead of looking deep into the reasons why and to go ahead and rectify and change what needs to be changed, it's just complain and say that it's somebody else's fault and it's not fair and it's not right. And what's that going to get you? Is that going to help you get another job? I don't think so.
Say this is racism, but no, I'm gonna tell y'all what they're saying on the internet, but it is, and it's crazy. They blaming that they can't go to work with the bonnet on.
I said, why are Black men and women losing their job and the unemployment rate among both is going up?
Look,
we'll let that develop.
It's all right. Look, mind you, these are all nurses.
So the unemployment rate is going up for both, but they never seem to talk about you, Sassy Streets. Why is that?
Jobs that they're going to work in the bonnet.
Yeah, going to work with livid if a nurse came out with a bonnet on. Of the 2025-2026 spike, especially for Black women, is massive reductions in federal employment, over 270,000 to 335,000 jobs eliminated or lost via layoffs, buyouts, and attrition in 2025. Black Americans are significantly overrepresented in federal workforce.
Government jobs.
Since Black women in particular have used stable federal public sector jobs as a key pathway to middle-class stability, they were hit the hardest in agencies targeted for cuts. The example being education, HHS, and HUD.
100,000 Black women that are getting laid off and having a hard time finding a job is because these companies no longer want to deal with any more racism and discrimination cases. Now, I worked at
I could believe that. I absolutely could believe that.
HR for over 10 years, and I was actually let go because I took a look at our budget report and saw the pay differential between our white and Black employees, and I exposed everything was ultimately let go. Now, being an
So in other words, you was looking into some mess you had no business looking into, and then you went and told somebody. I mean, let me make sure I clear that up. She was looking at information she had no business looking at as a HR representative, and then started telling people about how white people was making more than black people. Now, I've said before, and I'll say it again, I have no doubt that most people, I'm talking about black people, do not negotiate their salary. I'm telling you, they do not negotiate their salary. And if you think that when a job makes their offer to you that that's highest and best, you're crazy. And when you do that, when you do counter, which you should always negotiate, and you should have a number in your mind on what you're worth, realistically, what you're worth. And then if they don't give it to you, you have to be willing to walk away. And I also know for a fact, because enough people have discussed it, especially after we were having all those discussions, after we was told to stay in the house, we was in the house board, that plenty of black people, because that's who was talking, even when they didn't get the job that they went for, they ended up staying where they were unhappy and where they felt that they were not getting what they were worth. So instead of looking outside of this said company, you stayed. So you end up staying in a position that's basically the same position for years. I'm talking about, these people was talking about 15, 20 years. You weren't getting paid. You weren't getting the raise, because you're not going to get appropriate or significant raises. Let me rephrase. You're not going to get significant raises when you work at the same company. You want to see a bump in the salary? Go outside of that company and go to somebody else. That's the best way to get your income raised. That's a freebie for y'all, right? For those that don't know. But you decided to stay and get your 2% maybe a year, maybe a $500 bonus a year. And then now you want to complain. Well, you stayed. I mean, whose responsibility is it? No one is going to come and give you anything. You're going to have to go and do what you need to do and work for it. And if you're going and continuously trying to move up, move forward, move wherever in the company that you work in, and you're not getting hired for it, you're either going to reevaluate what you're doing, or you're going to exit. You should be exiting stage left. I have, the best thing that ever happened to me was getting laid off, because I didn't realize it until I got laid off and got another job and said, "Oh, Lord, help your people." In 2 years, 3 at the max was how long that I would stay at another job. And the thing of baby boomers, this is what baby boomers thought. You should stay at a job forever, right? You're supposed to stay forever. You're never supposed to leave. Who? You're never supposed to call off. Who? You're never supposed to take your vacation. Who? I'm telling you, I became an owl. No. Because I said back then when I was younger, I said, I know these daggone people don't give a damn about me, meaning this company, this corporation, this business. So I'm going to take advantage of every single thing that they got and they offer and do it to this day. A lot of other people are too scared. You scared somebody gonna lay you off. You scared somebody gonna say something to you. So my boss just recently said something to me. I said, I don't think you're supposed to be saying that to me. I have no problem with saying that to him. He shut it the hell up. He shut it the hell up. I said, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to say that to me. Child, I will call HR in a heartbeat. A lot of people be scared. Child, listen. Shout out to Generation X. I don't give a damn. What you not gonna do is think that you're gonna intimidate me, think you're gonna scare me, or think that I'm going to cower to you. I know what the rules are here, because you need to understand your company and know how far you can go and what the daggone rules are. And people don't take the time to do that. But child, what the hell do I know? Come on, what else, girl? What else did you do wrong while you was meddling?
HR girly.
Shout out to the Generation X. My grandmother used to say, "You up there meddling? You don't mind your business. You over there meddling."
You're well connected with other women in HR at different companies, and a lot of us had the same experience. We will receive a lot of discrimination cases from Black women in leadership.
I'm glad you said that. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm glad you said that. God for the sports, Godfather sports, the car industry. In my opinion, I believe there was a lot of Black people that worked there, which is great. That's physical labor. They paid people money. People in my extended family worked there, right? And these were the baby boomers. So of course they got that job. It was a great job for the time and the times and everything that was going on. And they stayed, which is great for them. They never took time off. That's great for them. Great for them, right? He's right about they would die on the line. They now got they might as well have been in the military. They got shoulder problems, knee problems, feet problems, especially the ones that were standing on the actual line. I could not imagine doing that monotonous job, those monotonous jobs. That's just me. And that's where those conversations used to come from, where they would say, how could you take off? Because, child, that's what vacation time is for. That's what sick time is for. And I only had 2 weeks back then. So now that I have more than 5 weeks total, and somebody think I'm supposed to still sit around, I worked long and hard enough to get here. I'm using it all. I am the hell out. My mom hates when I go on vacation. Exactly. I'm telling you, I used to hear it all the time. All baby boomers. You're off again? Why aren't you at work? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? I'm just saying, who are you talking to? Factory work ain't no joke. I couldn't do it. Shout out to those that did it. It couldn't be me.
Now, keep in mind, these companies were required to maintain a certain amount of Black and brown staff members at one point, and a lot of these women were ending up in management positions. Black women were at the top of their game for a while. But if they began to be a company nuisance, they would do anything to get their ass out of the door. And when I say a company nuisance, that means reporting discrimination, reporting racism. As soon as you do it, there is a target on your back. These companies will hold meetings with the top management and HR and say, hey, this person's becoming a company nuisance. They're affecting the company morale. What can we do to shorten their time with this company? At which point we would go through all the policies, procedures, your performance, the company handbook, and see if there is anything that they can do to get your ass up out of there.
And that's why you need to know what the policies, the procedures are, and you need to know what you need to do in order to be able to stay there. You can toe the line. You can go all the way up to the line. You go over the line and you start effing around and you bring attention to yourself. Child, this is not rocket science.
Things like you might have been able to be 15 minutes late consistently due to traffic before,
Right.
but now they on your ass about your punctuality. You
Right.
might have been able to come into the office with a bonnet every now and then because you're having a bad hair day, and now you out of dress code. They would look for little things to just target you to make it.
What the fuck?
I'm telling you, bro.
What the fuck?
It's
And
okay.
now you out of dress code. They would look for little things to just target you to make it seem like you are not performing well on the job.
You're not performing.
We know that it's retaliation. They know that it's retaliation. But
Man, I'm not listening to this shit. She
Let
just
her
said
finish,
you're
bro.
being targeted because you show up to work late and you're wearing a bonnet at work. And she said you're being targeted.
And she's exposing people.
She's saying that in return for when they're start acting up. So the job allowed it. I don't know if they missed that or not. The job was allowing it until you started being a nuisance. Another Generation X term. You started to become a nuisance. So then they said, oh, you know what? We can get you on these things that you're doing that's against policy. So I think they missed that part. Now, should they have been allowing all that other stuff? They shouldn't have been. So that's on them. But when you do see that you're getting some benefit, right? Then you probably should calm the hell down. You probably should take them benefits and shut the hell up most of the time. But you can't tell these people that. You're not gonna tell me. Say I'm lying. You're not gonna tell me. Child, if I go into some place and they allowing people to wear bonnets ever so often and it's not a CNA, I'm not going. The only people that should be wearing bonnets, which is the equivalent of as long as it's clean, which is the equivalent of what they wear on their heads when they go into surgery. Other than that, I ain't trying to see it. Y'all don't let me go into Applebee's, of which I'm not going, and they be in there with bonnets on. The cook, maybe, but nobody else.
Information.
Are you fucking serious?
She went.
Excuse my language, y'all. That is the most ridiculous stuff I've ever heard. So you're being targeted if you come to work in non-professional work clothes. You say you're out of attire. Oh, you're out of dress code because you wore a bonnet to work. You wore a sleep hat or whatever it's the terminology for it is to work. I wouldn't even wear a bonnet out of my bedroom. That is insane.
Proving that it's
You're 15 minutes late.
These companies
You're
know
being
that only about
targeted.
2% of retaliation cases are even going to go anywhere. And before it's all said and done, you're probably going to go broke in lawyer fees and probably just get a really small settlement either way, but you still ain't got no job. and you're not going to get a good referral. They're not going to give you a good referral to another company, actually.
Why would they give you a
Guys open
referral?
And they don't have to hire a certain amount of Black and brown people to keep their shareholders happy. Discrimination cases are way down. They're able to use their HR staff to focus in on other claims and other cases. If they reduce the amount of Black women that they keep in the office, they don't have to deal with the whole.
The guy I go to pull to the gas station, this white guy gonna say, "You really wearing your bonnet to work?" Yes, I am. And now I'm starting to think, is everybody else gonna think I am? And I said, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I went live last night. Whoop, whoop. I did my afro, and I was gonna show them this morning how my dried afro was gonna look a hot fucking mess. And then I get up and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna wear my bonnet. I like my bonnet.
Look at them.
Look at the Asian
They
man.
look
Look, the Asian man looking disgust.
All right, so it's replaying. But if they, they think that they can go ahead and wear the bonnet to work, and it sounds like with the HR lady, that one job was allowing it. So that's on them. And then it became to be a thing because sometimes people just get above themselves. Shout out to Amazon. I see you, boo. People get out of pocket. And then they think they can just take it further and further and further. You got to know where to hold the line, toe the line, whatever you want to call it, for yourself. You're doing that to keep the job for yourself. I feel like there's a lot of people that you can't give this message to try to help them. So they got to learn the hard way. They want to learn the hard way. Learn the hard way. Let me see. It's 7:25. I got one more. Then I got to go. So this lady, Consumer Debt Chit Chat, I like her. I'm subscribed on the other channel, but it says woman begs for job while wearing bonnet on social media. Child, this is definitely a Generation Z thing. This is crazy.
Got talked to again. My job is going to ask me, so you have until Monday to take out your hair. I did my hair so that I would not have to wake up in the morning. It was stressful to do.
Y'all, what is going on? Yo, what is this? You see this hair? Child.
The fact that my boss did the same again today, I had to let this know. I'm calling my lawyer. I am calling a lawyer.
Okay.
I am emailing the president of my job, and I'm gonna write a letter to let that know. Like, so you're worried about my hair. I still can't get the epic training. I still don't have access, but you're worried about my hair. You're worried about my hair, but yet you can't do your job as an employer. But you're worried about my hair, right?
Your nose.
Happy Wednesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. If you missed yesterday's begging video, actually the last 2 nights begging videos, I will attach them both at the end. Now we are going to look at
we might have to come back for that later.
3 stories. This first one that just played, we're going to look at 2 more. The second one is a Black woman who works for HR, and we're going to share with you her thoughts about it. And the final one we're going to look at is another Black jest.
Yeah, we heard her, so we're not going to listen to the HR lady. So clearly the HR lady is getting around. Pause. Meaning for stories.
All right. It's not meant to be serious. If you follow my channel, you darn well know that. Okay. I use the bonnet for comedic purposes on this channel. And that's all it will ever be used for.
Same, child. Same.
Let's check out this third one. This one's rich. Hold on. Y'all, is it? Okay. It says here, is it just me, or since DEI, I can't get no job? I rest my case, family. I rest my case. I am resting it right here to the jury. Now let's just think here. You got the first chick, My Little Pony, with all of her ridiculous hair color, and she thinks that's
shout out to My Little Pony. That's a good reference. If you know, you know. I'm gonna have to find that and post on My Little Pony. Shout out to Gen X. She's absolutely right. Coming to work with all them colors in your damn hair. Child, my granddaughter, I told you she's 12. She has some blue in her braids. She's 12. She's going to school. I'm okay with that. And when it's time for her to start working, no, we're not doing this. No. She's a child. Excuse me. She is a child. You are an adult, allegedly. You are an adult. Going into work looking like My Little Pony. I love it. I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to call it that.
be acceptable for work where someone is paying her. Let me tell you something. When you paying me, I will do whatever you want. Okay? You say, write this on the corner of the board. Put this desk here. Again, all right? As long as it's not illegal,
right?
I will do it. Then so you got that little My Pony person, and she's all upset and up in her boss's face on social media. And thank you to the person that did edit that. They edited out all the S words, all the F bombs that she gave her towards her employer. Then you got the HR person that we just saw talking about how it's just so unfair that companies aren't hiring, Black people. Maybe it's not so much that companies aren't hiring Black people. Maybe it's the quality of the Black.
Oh, sis, you're not allowed to say that, girl. You're not allowed to say that. I'm gonna need you to get it together, Chad. I'm gonna need you to get it together. Come on.
That is a problem. And now we've got the third case here. Let's start it.
Just me. Or since DEI cuts, y'all ain't been able to get no job. Or is it-
And for those that can't see the screen, this woman is in her bonnet on social media, unemployed, trying to make it a impression.
It's just me.
March 2026 too.
Because I do live in a little small
chomping
town. It's like a little small military town in North Carolina. And it's like really nothing out here. They don't even have a Target. But I have applied to like 5 jobs, and then they either don't call me back and don't give me no explanation. I will email them hey, can I have some feedback? Nothing.
I think she's eating or smacking her lips or something.
Okay, so I'm I need
5 jobs, girl. Okay.
move to Arizona. I need to get out of this little small city. I want to move back to Arizona anyway. And I feel like Arizona's gonna have more jobs. It's more populated. It's more, businesses, so therefore more jobs. So I've been applying to jobs in Arizona. I applied for the Carvana because Carvana it seemed like a good job. You start off at 20, then you go to 21, 6 months you're 22, and then you get 50 cent raise of that. So I didn't apply for Carvana 3 times. Carvana denied me the next day for customer service representative. I applied for more positions. They didn't deny me on other positions yet, but they denied me for customer service same day, next day. But at least they did email me and say, hey, we have more qualified people. So we're going to get it to somebody else. They did send me a little email, unlike North Carolina, who just do nothing. But they did send me a little email. It was okay, maybe they got somebody with a degree for that job or whatever. But I know the economy is bad and people are looking for jobs. But it's bro, if you are in Arizona, because, also, I live in North Carolina. The Apple was hiring in Greensboro, but that's 40 minutes from me. Like I said, everywhere that's hiring is 40 minutes from where I live. And I don't have no car right now. So that's not going to work. At least I can go to Arizona and I'll catch a bus. I don't have no shame. I'll catch a bus to work. At least they got a bus route, and whatever the case may be. So I'm maybe I should just go there, boom, move there, use my little couple thousand, move there. If I can't get no car, boom, I'll take the bus. That's cool. My sister stay out there. I think my mom will be out there. My mom might move out there too. So I'm just boom. But if y'all live in Arizona, send me some jobs who's hiring because I'm trying to be there. My lease up in June.
I got talked to. Hold on just a second.
Boom. That's annoying too. Oh, hey, My Little Pony.
Let me fast forward. I sometimes hit the wrong button. Okay. So she up here on social media saying that she doesn't have a job. And she wants people, I'm trying to give her some dignity here. All right. She says that she doesn't have a job and she's going on social media to ask people for a job. So she decides to herself, you know what? Before I go on social media, I'm going to smack my lips like I just finished eating something. I'm going to kick back in just a everyday house shirt. I'm going to wear my stupid bonnet on social media. And this is how I'm going to present myself to look for a job, beg for a job. This is what I
don't worry. Somebody will help us out. I have no doubt. Somebody is helping her out. So, all right, that's the end of this. Basically, I'm sure somebody will help her out and give her the opportunity and refer her to somewhere and someone, and then I'm sure she will get hired, and I'm sure she will have learned some lessons. Boom. That is so annoying. All right, boom. And boom. Oh my god. And maybe this is part of the problem as well. Can you imagine if when these people go into interviews, and I don't know if anybody here has interviewed a Generation Z lately, they over here talking about clock it and then doing that hand gesture. You think they're doing that in the interviews? Or boom. Oh, boom. Or saying light. You know what I mean? Oh, the way that they speak and the way that they talk, the odds are that they're not talking to someone that's the same as them, meaning another Generation Z. So you're probably talking to an X. The odds are they're talking to an X. And so do they think, I know they don't think, but do they think that they're not picking up on that? I pick up on it. It's annoying. You're going to come in, oh, Lord, definitely not bruh. Or speaking this dialect where I don't even know what it is you're talking about. How many times I'll be like, I need somebody to interpret this mess for me. Because it's not like they're learning in school, right? I mean, yeah, they're learning in school, but it's not the same. It's not to speak properly. They allow, remember that time like 2 years ago or so where they had the kindergartners or the preschoolers talking or singing a Sexy Red song or somebody ratchet, and they were like, well, if this is how they learn, and it's like, of course it was black kids, it might have been a preschool, and they were like, if this is how they learn, so you're going to teach them degeneracy instead of having them learn properly. Okay, that's going to work out well for later. But the people that were saying that were the problem, of course, because why have a standard? Just lower this standard so that they can achieve. Does no one see a problem with that? Instead of having a higher standard, they would rather lower it so that it can look like someone's achieving something, when at the end of the day, they are not. The standard needs to be high because it's the standard. That's why it's called a standard. No Child Left Behind and effed a lot of things up too, because a lot of people got left behind and it shows. But instead of saying that that was a problem and fixing it, they'll just triple and double down and just say, you know what, just lower the standard so that they can come up. And we don't seem to understand that who does it always affect the worst? Black people. But now you got this whole generation that just thinks that they can go wherever they want, do whatever they want, show up however they want, and everyone else is supposed to conform to them. That's what this generation Z is. You should conform and change for me, and I will not. Me personally, not even just because of them, it's because I just won't. So I shouldn't have to give up how I was raised to appease you. Just stay away from me. I figure that's the best answer. Just don't be around me, because I got no problem with not being around you, if that makes sense. Mike Love says, instead of them doing rant videos, why don't they do video resumes just in case potential employers stumble upon their videos? Maybe that's too Generation X. That just makes too much sense. It's a total accept me how I am, and however I feel, which is another problem, is more important than anything. Because how the heck you gonna go to work and be crying? The last thing that I ever, I don't even know if I got that from my mom. I don't even know where it came from. But I'm a woman, regardless of what they say. And I've been at work many a times ready to cry, bawl out. And it's like, you cannot. So you better carry your ass on. You better go to your car, or you better leave for the day, because there is no crying at work. Just like there's no crying in baseball, there's no crying at work. Never let them see you cry. These people just start crying. These people just be on camera, putting it on the internet, showing them crying. It always comes back to that. I always think of that kid who I think was ABCD trans, who was crying at Starbucks because I don't even remember why, something dumb. In the back having a total meltdown crying. Never. It's not allowed. We don't do that. We do not do that. We cry. We just not gonna cry at work. And if we're crying at work, we doing it in the car. And we're gonna make sure that we got it straight before we go back in there. Because I'm of a never let them see you sweat. That's me. Never let them see you sweat. You damn sure can't let them see you cry. And then they know or think that it's because of them, meaning the people at work. Never. That's crazy. Oh, I miss those days when women wrote down their feelings in a journal. I got one from the retreat. I use it sparingly, but I had a diary. We used to have diaries. Generation Xers had diaries, had a key and a lock, and we was happy to have it. Nate Jade, I know you had one. Would put it under the bed, hide it in a drawer under a bunch of clothes so nobody could see it. Keep the key all the time. Write down about who you love, who you like, and what your last name would be if y'all got married. All that. This girl got on my nerves today. I want to punch her in the face. Yes. They need to bring those back. Nope. They now have TikTok, and then we'll wonder. Now everyone should know that there's a social media policy. First of all, there's a social media policy. Then second of all, there's whole divisions now of looking at social media to see what the heck y'all putting on there or what we're putting on here. But you can't tell them anything. They know everything. And that's one of the many reasons why they continue to fail. But you can't tell Z's anything. They know it all. So we shall allow them to have it all, because you can't teach them anything. You can't tell them anything, from Monique to me to anybody. So it's cool. We just sit and watch. And then they'll sit up here and try to blame people. And people are tired of hearing all the excuses. I feel like people are just tired at this point of all the excuses. I'm not changing. But I don't have to deal with them because I choose not to. But anyway, so good morning, y'all. Shout out to y'all for coming out here. Appreciate you. Y'all make sure you hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. Thank you so much. Make sure you comment if you're on the replay. Share the daggone video. Hype the daggone video as well. Be back later. And of course, it's Anton's fault. Yeah, they can't even count change back, child. They can't even they can barely use the calculator to calculate the change, but that's a whole nother live stream. We'll be back later on tonight, 6:15. I got to figure out what we're going to talk about, but 6:15 EST. Shout out to y'all. Make sure you're there. Be there or be square. I appreciate y'all. Hit the like button for me. I see you all in the next one.